Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? So we can start today. SPY is just a bit of pullback, very small uh, red, and and SPY is all-time high, just a slightly pulled back. Today is a red, 0.28%. Nasdaq is also making all-time high. Slightly pulled back around 340 range, uh, below the VWAP. And if we find the stocks, and let's go to my scanner, and if we see here, so not any nice gap up. Let's see the gap down. Uh, Mara is the gap down, is the same as the Bitcoin stock, right? And then one additional what we have is a Piton. So if you guys have missed my recap for the Friday trade, what I had on the Mara, you go and look at it. I played the reversal trade. Hi, Andre. And today, if you look at it, is really in a small range between 37 to 35. We have a clear support on the intraday, which is a pre-market low, and then we have a clear resistance, which is over 3670. Now, let me just delete these lines. Uh, okay, in terms of the daily, if you look at it, uh, every day it is just breaking down, and this is a clear phenomena of the, speculative stock. The way it can go back, the way it moves up, exactly coming down. There's no consolidation, but every day is just coming down and down. Now the question is whether do we see a further move down, or the some buyer will come and get the support. So let's look at it, monthly chart for that, and the weekly chart. I think that is going to be important for us to understand. So if you see the weekly chart, there are a big pullback, big bull flags, then moved up, rejected this level, came down, make a doji reversal again, and then here again try to move up but couldn't make the over 60 and come down. Now the yesterday, for the first week after maybe 6 weeks, which was a complete red. So it's like that. If you look at this red and this red, you will see a clear continuation. This after came almost 6 weeks. So I see a continuation of this at this point. We have a 20 moving average around $30, and then the 50 moving average is on the $13. So there is a big gap between these two. So far, if you look at the weekly chart, it has a clear support over nine moving averages. Never lose the nine moving average. Every time it comes down from the line, nine moving average is bought back up. So this is the first time when it came down on the weekly chart below the nine moving average. Now we're going to keep an eye, right? What we need to see that whether today is just going to get bounced back and move back up again on the nine moving average, or is just going to continue and going to touch 30. Whatever it does, it has a big spike. So we might see first move down, and then maybe in the later of the week, if it's going to move back up, it may move back up. But definitely on the downside right now, if you have look at now the intraday on a 30 minutes, you look at it, see here, clearly coming down and down and down, right? Right now, if you see here, it came down, made the bear flag, but here at the 35, it got a support, move back up, touched the nine moving average, came down again. Now, so clearly we can see here from the 35 to 36.42 or 37 has a range between is playing here since the pre-market. Now we need to see as we move along, we need to see whether it is continue this range or it breaks in either way. And if it breaks either way, we have definitely a good chance to create a position. Next one I have another one which is coming down is CAN, which is also, last many days it's just keep coming up. Uh, and I don't like personally to trade because it get choppy as we go closer to the range. Now, if you look at it, it made a bear flag, and then from last 6 days, it's just consolidating on the same uh, level. So I basically see a support here, even though it's gapping down, but I see a support at 1192. You never know that it comes down, touch it, and then move back up, right? So I wouldn't touch on the short side this unless it comes to the below $10 where we can give a nice momentum. But at this point, I see a clear support on the last 3 days. The week of the first day, then it came down again and then again. Now, if you look at the weekly chart here, you will see that it's keep making a bear flag. So after every big candle, it consolidated for the week. So now it may be this week is a consolidated week. So it might gap down, but quickly pull back up, and it's just gonna chop around on this area. So if you look at this pattern, yeah, unless we expect another big bar down of the continuation of that, which is I don't think so. If you look at it, it's over 125 million shares have been sold on this week. Let's look at the Piton because Piton, people are again going in a lockdown, and I was not sure whether uh, what is the reason for the Piton to not moving back up. So if we see here, the high of this is the 173, and then 165 is a high range here. And then if you look at it here, it is touching a 50 moving average, consolidated down, and then it's just now under the moving averages, but over the 50 moving average. Now, if you look at the daily, weekly doesn't show anything very nice pattern here. But if you look at the daily, it is going below the 200 moving averages. And 200 moving averages is being a support for this stock for from the February. So every time it touch the 200 moving averages is bought back up, touch, bought back up, touch, bought back up, touch, and then it's touched this time the 50 moving averages and then coming down. So the question is whether it gives us a good momentum there. Uh, yes, it can give us a good momentum, but Piton is stock where a lot of people wanted to go long this stock as it's moved down along, right? So now what we need to do, we need to find a right place to short because this is sometime get really choppy and also spready and move back and forth into the one direction. Yeah, so is maybe a news. Okay, so it's supposed to be the kill. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's maybe that, it coming down with the news and then people comes in and the later of the day or whatever, and then we're gonna get back. So see, even it's a bad news, but if you look at it, the size of the candles are not that big. The volume is also not. Let's see the volume. So if you look at the volume, is almost 300,000 share, not more. And look at the size of the candle. It should have a bigger candle if it's really a bad news. So this means there's still so many, uh, you know, sh- uh, investors wanted to hold the stock. They are not really going into this, but definitely we can play on the both side. We might get a good chance to buy back the stock. We need to see the price action because 5 minutes really looks good, making a nice bear flags here. So if we look at it, okay, so it doesn't really show me that. My this chart looks different than my other charts. I'm not sure why. Okay, I see a bear flag on the one chart, but not on this chart. hmm Okay, anyway, so this is what we have. I think the some of the stocks I've shortlisted over the weekend. Uh, I think that may be a good chance for us to trade that. Look at the PLBY. As was we expecting, we are talking about the last week that it can give a move down. So it has a first red candle after a few days. So, and if you look at it, it's trying to move down. So maybe we had a good chance to touch this 10 moving average. This could be in very important area for us to ride up to that point. And now we need to find the right opportunity for us to go short on this. So BLBY really looks good. So Andre, you're saying HOG. Let's check HOG. HOG. HOG is really breaking up all-time high. That was the previous resistance, which is breaking up now, and good volume as well. And not a nice pattern at this point, but it has a consolidation over the 9 and 20 moving averages and on the upside. So we might see a push in the opening or before the open, and then we can get a ride on it. So let's mark these levels and see how does it go. I like it so far. If you look at the very nice big candle and it's breaking out. Is there any news on the on this breakout, or is just a normal kind of thing? So HO is also, you're right, is making cup and handle and now it's breaking up. Um, Very beautiful formation here. Even not a clean move on the 5 minute, but definitely consolidating close to the pre-market high. Even in the 15 minutes, it's making a kind of a bull flag over the VWAP, over the 9 moving average. So let's mark this level. I think this could be an interesting level here. This could be an interesting level here. Okay. The other stock I was looking uh, on uh, on the weekend, you look at the mRNA. mRNA is really extended now. If you look at the mRNA, it's really getting extended. So today, I was hoping to get the pullback, and I see the pre-market is showing us the pullback. So let's keep an eye on this. We can get a really good momentum down because after so long it's pullback. But let's see. But we do not need to. I'm not expecting that it's gonna touch back again the 160. But definitely we need to see if we can get a front side short momentum rather than on the lower side. If we're gonna get the lower side, it's gonna be hard for us to short. But if we get closer to 170 to go short 169, 170, we have a more success chances than anything else. So let's mark this. Let me mark on the 5 minute. Uh, okay, and the next one I was looking at the CGA. So CGA is still gapping up again today. Let's keep an eye that if it's go turn red, if it's turned red only, then we might gonna chance to go short. So let's keep an eye on this. If you look at the 5 minute, let me show you the 5 minutes on the previous few days. See the way it is doing here. Uh, 9:30 up, up, suddenly gap down, and you see it's gapping is from the 1160, 1150. The next was on the 1130. So it's leaving the gaps too. It means it's not having good liquidity. So unless you start getting a good liquidity, do not do anything on it, right? It can be a dangerous game. But let's look at the 1 minute chart because it's a very short float and it can easily wipe you. Go with the smaller size if you want to go. See here, so there was not a good liquidity in the beginning. So make sure that if you're gonna trade when there is a good liquidity. If there is not a good liquidity, then do not trade. So at this point, if you look at it in the morning time, sometime it says only 5,000 shares. If that's the way, then just don't trade it. It's not worth it, right? Next one, I was looking at, uh, if you remember the pins, we have discussed that, uh, you know, and look at this bar. That was I was expecting, and exactly that happened. Now, when this kind of a day comes in, usually is give you a continuation move. So maybe today is maybe just going to be a slightly move back up, but now shortlist this stock because it will give us another ride on this. But when maybe within this week, but we need to keep an eye on this because definitely I see momentum, and sometime when this bigs up and then the moment it's going to break this previous candle, people have no choice just to give up on their trades or bail out, because if you see here there's a lot of accumulation from last whole week and just keep grinding. So all the individuals who have bought on this consolidation expecting is gonna go long, they're all on the red now. Those who are buying here, they are red. Those who bought on this day, red. Those who bought this day on red. Those who have bought on from March 17 to the March 30th, they are right now very close to their break even, right? All the people who have bought on this consolidation, they're very close to the break even. The moment it's going to break this level, people might start getting bailout as well. So there is a big chance of moving one back down. Look at the volume. Over 20 million shares have been traded on that day. So just keep this in your list as well. Let's look at the G box. So yes, on the daily level, you're right. Looks really nice if it's gonna break. But I don't know what is the ATR on this. So it is giving a big move. Yesterday it has around 1.80 cents. And what was this? When was last time it was traded here? Okay, is this the new IPO, Andre? It has a good range. We can easily get 30, 40 cents because it moves, but I'm not sure whether after the 980 whether it's going to give us a big move or not. But yeah, definitely we can shortlist that. It's really a nice pattern here. What else I have in my list? So look at the DTE. Basically DTE is, making all-time high, but has a news of a downgrade today. So I'm thinking that it is really moving up, and a lot of people have bought on this on this, and now it is downgraded. We might see a downtrend, but at this point there is no pre-market volume. Uh, but it can give us a nice momentum. So just keep an eye on this. The other one is on the extended stock is a BNTX. So BNTX has moved a lot, and I on the weekend I find out, and I thought it's gonna give us a good chance to play it today in the downward, but it's already really gapping down. It's almost $8 down from the Friday. But definitely this is in play now. It's moving down, so we might get a good chance to play. Just keep this in your list. I think this is a good chance for us to get some good move here as well. So BNTX, under which one is talking about that can still can go on? Guys, I really appreciate if you give me a thumbs up. If you appreciate joining us, why don't you guys introduce yourself and give us a thumbs up? And if you have any question, feel free to ask. Other one I was looking at the OMF. So OMF also, is really moving towards the high, but it is downgraded today. So no pre-market volume, but if you look at it, is already negative 1.3. So with a good chance for us to get some move down up to the 53. So let's keep an eye on this stock as well. So some are the plays on the extended, but also on the downgrade. So I have a four stock like that. So I will show you that I will mention here DTE, OMF, SKS. So these three stocks are downgraded but moving towards the high. So we had a good chance to some get moving extended stocks. We have a vaccine stocks which is a mRNA and the BNTX continuation. So Andre, last message I see your HD. That's you're talking about? Okay. Hi Terry, welcome to our channel. Uh, and yeah, in terms of HD is really moving up. Look at the extended stock. Oh my God, look at the run. Uh, Definitely, I'm not going to touch on the long side this stock. It's definitely, uh, you know, on the short side. But the question is, is for these kind of stocks, the question is that whether you see a big bar moves or you are getting a smaller bars and it's keep moving and keep grinding up and up. So far, there is no big green candle. I see that this big new big candle came in. It is bigger, definitely bigger than the previous few candles, and also the volume is really up than the previous few. I mean, in fact, the weeks, right? If you look at it from here onward, from the March 2nd, this is the first time, other than this candle, everything is smaller than that. So most likely today is a day it gonna pull back. Now pullback means that whether it's gonna pull back just like a retracement up to the 20 moving average, or it's just gonna move like this the way it is moved here. Just a very small move. And I don't know even that what kind of through the spread is trades, right? If it's is too spready to play with, then definitely it's gonna be you won't be able to get a nice move if it's too spready. It's gonna chop you out uh, from one place to other, one point to other point, and you're just gonna be, so look at this here. So this only the first 5 minute candle is between 323 to 324, almost $1.50 first 5 minutes. Let's look at the 1 minute. What is the 1 minute candle range? So almost 80 cents. So not bad. I mean, for this big stock and the candle sizes is less than 80 cents for a minute. Uh, yeah, I think it's not bad. So it's not that this look like it's not that spready. It has a good liquidity. Um, yeah, so definitely if you want to play Andre, you can play, I guess. The other stock I have in my on my short list, this is one which is our the short squeeze ones, which are have high short float and moved a lot from the high of their 54 weeks, 52 weeks high. It's a really moved very much down. So one is an added. So if you look at an added, you will see that the high is 100 and now it moved to the 34. So right now it's making a bear flag. It doesn't seems like giving a nice pattern for the reversal. Uh, but what I'm trying to say here that these kind of a stocks which have a high short float, it can easily change the trend. I'm not going to be interested in going short unless I see a clean move. I'm most likely gonna play I'm only going to play on the long side if I get the right reversal opportunity. So it's right now, look at this, making a bear flag here. Is a day one after the big candle of the big volume share in. So just think from that perspective that if someone sold 5 million shares last week, it also means that someone bought 5 million shares last week. And this is really a big climax volume. Look at this volume. This volume, it's go back to the January. This kind of a big volume. So if someone is buying that, there may be a reason for them, and we don't know. We're a day trader, so we only need to look at the right pattern for us to trade. Yeah, but HD is it can give us a good play because but you what you need to do is need to be very careful in if you have a clear pattern. So I will not guess. Just let me say this. You can trade this on the downside move, but do not guess. And also, for instance, this is a big candle, right? So I'm definitely not going to go short on the 325 because then it might possible that it go below and it just pull back up and make a bull flag here. So if you wanted to play these kind of a stock, you need to go the front side short, which is that judging, need to see a kind of a pattern, need to find of resistance on the top of the 328, and the previous day close will be your basically your stop out loss. So if you, for instance, you want to short market opens, it moves a little bit up, you short it here, and your stop loss will be the high of the day. And then you might get a little bit of a move downward. And if it's continue to break 325 and give it to you right, then all by all means you can take it. But if you gonna take your first position under 325 and it just pull back up, it's gonna be nasty for you. Or you can wait to see that it's break 325, consolidate underneath, then retest the 325, and then you will finally see that whether it is not able to, go move back up, reject 325, then you can play on the downward side. But if you're just gonna go down on the first time it's moving 325, it may kill you because people might gonna buy again, right? The way if you look at it, it's really extended for many many days now. Uh, and sometimes they just keep extended because keep grinding up. Look at the size of the candle, is not that big, right? That you can say, oh man, one day people have got the 20-25% move, right? No, it's a very small move and it's a big stock, right? So small move, big stock, I don't know. So let's move on. Do I have any other stock? Nope, I don't have any other stocks. So these are the stocks I have shortlisted. Uh, Not many gappers. So definitely the Bitcoin stocks, vaccine stock, and and then some of the extended stocks play. Hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to give me feedback, give me thumbs up, and share with your friends. Yeah, Andre. Yeah, definitely you can do that. In fact, what you can do uh, for the first 15 minutes, you can play on your simulator and build up the psychology for you to improve, and then you can once you are comfortable taking on the first 15 minutes, then so you can switch between the simulator and your real account. Uh, Maybe first 10 minutes play simulator and then move back to the real account. Uh, uh, that may be the way you can build your competency on your first 15 minutes as well. Or maybe just observe for the first 15 minutes, just take the paper trade and keep the notebook in front of you and just say that, based on your strategy, you are going to go short or long here. Just note down on the paper, and at the end you compare that whether, what would make sense to you, whether it is working for you or why it is not working for you, without putting your capital on the first 15 minutes. All right, feel free to give me feedback, share the channel with your friends, and hope you enjoyed. Uh, and let's touch base tomorrow, and hope everyone have a great green week and a great day.